ringside. Joe Tessitore alongside Teddy Atlas, and we're just about ready for action. Manny Pacquiao's making his way to the ring with such confidence. That is the look of a fighter who knows exactly what tonight's outcome will be. Boom Boom's ring walk is very interesting here. This isn't over-the-top emotion. This isn't a guy with an intense, glaring stare. Just a guy going to do his job.
We went over the rules in the dressing room. Let's have a good, clean fight. Touch them up.
Round number one is now underway. All the talk is done. It is simply time to fight. Many may believe that in a matchup like this, power puncher versus power puncher, that he who has more power wins. But in a way, is it as simple as saying he who has more fundamentals wins?
Yes, absolutely. He who has a missile to get that bomb to the target, he's going to win.
Good defensive skill with the block by Boom Boom. Pacquiao's missing the mark by a mile. That just was nowhere to be found. And he's holding. Halfway through round number one. Tucks those elbows in, blocks the body shot. Teddy, when fans come to see Manny Pacquiao, when viewers tune in to see Manny Pacquiao, they do it for one reason. They think they're going to see a lot of action. Is that what we're going to see?
Yeah, he's fan-friendly. And you know that he's going to be a guy that's going to take chances. He's going to be a guy who's going to try to get to his opponent. He's going to be a guy who's going to walk forward at some stage.
Both these guys obviously hopeful that their cut men will be up to the task tonight. What does it take to be a great cut man?
And you know, that's a great question. First of all, you better have the right coagulants, the right chemicals, the right medications in that corner. Avatine, adrenaline, and you have to have Vaseline where you can put it on it. But the most important thing, you have to be calm. You can't panic. And you have to put pressure on that cut, just the right amount of pressure, and then you put those medicines in it, and then you better have a fighter that can give you a round or two. He can move around and not get caught right away. Give the medicine a chance to work.
End of round 1. Boom Boom's cornermen are going to have to look him over after being cut in that last round.
Looking good. He's tired.
We got it.
He's tired. He's got nothing left. Now listen, I need you to double up your punches and keep the lead, all right?
Here we go. Round 2 is underway. Now he ties up there. Manny Pacquiao blocks that punch. Nice block by Manny Pacquiao. Boom Boom's in a tough spot right now. Boy, he got rocked. Able to block that away. It was targeted for his head. Big shot there. He was standing up to it, but now he goes down for the first time. So he was knocked down there, but now he's giving you every indication that he's fresh and ready to go back after it.
Yeah, well, I think he's giving that to you because he is, as you said, just a quick knockdown. But right now, what he's got to be careful for is the same mistake again.
Uppercut. Keep doing what you're doing.
Off the target by Boom Boom. Good defensive skill.
In and out, in and out, in and out. Let's move.
Keep moving. Keep moving.
Good way to protect the midsection. Went to the body there, but unable to connect. Nice solid left hand scored by Manny Pacquiao. Ten seconds remaining in this round. He returns the favor with an uppercut. End of the round.
Okay.
So he scores the knockdown and now heads back to his corner. Teddy, do you ever have to calm a guy down after he scored a knockdown?
That's a really great point because a lot of times that can be the turning point, but not for your guy that scored the knockdown, for the other guy, because sometimes when you score a knockdown, you start to think it's going to be an easy night. And you forget what you knew when you came in, that it wasn't going to be an easy night. You were going to have to bring all the tools out of the tool shed, and it's important to remember that.
Boom Boom's fine. I'm looking at him starting this round right now, coming off a round where he was rocked, and I'm telling you, he looks perfectly good. Able to land another power shot early on here, Teddy. Does he have to worry about trying to keep up this pace?
No, I don't think so. If he keeps at this pace, he's not going to be around to worry.
Time. Go, go.
Headshot lands, was a hook. In March 2010, I think we got confirmation just as to how much of a superstar Manny Pacquiao is. The new Cowboy Stadium, fighting Josh Clottey, a guy who has no draw, no appeal to the mainstream fan. And over 100,000 come out to see Manny Pacquiao fight. Boom, left hand comes home. Boy, I know he's not in great shape, but all of a sudden he's doing a very good job of defending himself.
You know, it's a funny thing. He's fighting on instincts, and sometimes that's a good thing. You don't want to get hurt to get there, but you want to get there. Right now, he's doing things without thinking, naturally.
Good block by Boom Boom.
There you go. Looking good. Look good.
Still not moving enough. Move, muévate. Move your head. Muévate la cabeza.
You're doing great.
More punches.
You're still not moving enough.
Well timed by Manny Pacquiao. He took a step back, landed the counterpunch.
Exactly what he wanted to do.
Now his opponent got away from that uppercut. Nice block that time. It was intended to the head. 10 seconds to go in this round.
Nice work.
Manny Pacquiao stunned. Wow, both guys have gotten to the other here. And we come to the end of the round.
You're doing great. Keep the pressure on him. Keep it on.
Stay away from the power hand, okay? Keep circling away from that power hand. I need you to keep moving side to side, all right? Keep moving. Don't let him get that power shot going. Now listen.
Pacquiao's knockdown scored is the big difference in this fight so far. As we start round number 4, he's clearly won 2 of the 3 rounds.
Yeah, he has, Joe, but his opponent should not be influenced by that. What I mean is that it's not panic time yet. You know, he still can get back in this fight just doing the things that he came here to do. Use the jab and be steady.
Nice block by Boom Boom.
He's tired. He's tired.
Manny Pacquiao's showing us a little something behind the curtain right here. He's revealing something about himself, and that is that he wants to survive a bit. He is clinching more than we've seen before after being stunned.
And Joe, if we're seeing it, guess what? That guy in the other corner, that guy that's facing him right now, he's seen it too, and that's bad news for him.
Nice work.
And he returns on that exchange. Boom Boom's inability to hit the target is really making him look silly right now. He's throwing plenty of punches, just none of them are landing.
No, he's throwing them too wide, too far away. And what's going to be worse, right now he's only getting frustrated, maybe embarrassed, as you touched on. But what's going to be worse is when he starts getting counted in between them.
90 seconds to go in round number 4. That was a nice hook that landed that time by Boom Boom. And now targeting his opponent with the overhand right. Thought he had his target. That's a big right hand. Big shot he just scored with. Oh, and now the real test. Can he get up after going down a second time? So now the question becomes, after that knockdown, and he has gotten up, how does he survive?
So this is where instincts kick in. You got to start moving that head automatically right now. You don't want to stay in the middle.
You got this one.
You know, Pacquiao has improved through the years as a defensive fighter. He's got great speed and movement, but also much more sound defensively. Fourth round now with its last 10 seconds. End of that round, and the knockdown was scored. Now, Teddy, the fighter who was floored, how do you treat him? Do you go soft on him when he comes back, or do you get right in his face? What's the way to approach it?
You have to know your fighter. You have to know the temperament of your fighter. Some guys, you know, they just kind of crawl up into a ball, and they don't come out of it if you get too strong with them. Other guys, they react well to that. So you got to know what he reacts to, first of all. And the most important thing, you have to get information. Why did he get dropped? You had your right hand down, you got hit the hook. Get your right hand up. You'll be okay.
He has a new round in front of him, but I don't know that there's any new hope. He's been down numerous times tonight, including that last round.
You never know what a person's capable of when they're pushed to the brink. But this would be very unlikely. It would be spectacular.
Thrown along. Solid. How about that? He goes from being the victim to handing out the punishment. You know, you can see it in Pacquiao's eyes. He's unaffected by that knockdown. He wants more of this fight.
Hit yourself.
Jump on him.
Threw the straight right hand, but didn't score with it.
Left and right. Left and right.
Nice.
Now hugging on the inside.
Come on, keep focused.
Back to the body. Back to the body.
Not hitting his mark there going upstairs. Still plenty of time to work here in round number 5. Minute and a half to go. Well, supposed to be fighting, but instead he's hugging. Pacquiao's defense clearly carrying things right now for him. But what else should he be conscious of beyond just this good footwork we're seeing?
Well, the old timers would say, hey, you're doing the hard part, you're making a miss. Do the fun part. Make sure he pays.
Oh, he just misses with that headshot.
Nice.
Face yourself.
Keep moving.
Head and bust.
I want to see some combos.
He needs to improve the accuracy a little bit. That was comical by Manny Pacquiao. Final 10 seconds of this 5th round. This round comes to an end, and you can just see that he doesn't have much to him, not much energy there. I mean, how does a trainer fix that?
Well, first of all, you said a key word there. You said you can just see. Well, his opponent can see it, so he's not going to slow down. His opponent now is going to come out even faster. So if you're the trainer, the first thing you say is, hey, take a deep breath, get yourself together. Don't let this guy know you're tired. You're not tired.
As he starts this fresh round, coming off a round in which he was knocked down, we often look at his legs. But sometimes even more telling was the disposition and the way that he and his corner acted in between rounds.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point, Joe, because if the corner's not confident, they're not calm, if they show panic, then of course a fighter absorbs that.
Well, his opponent is opening up and coming forward, so I would think there are some opportunities that exist.
Yeah, I think some counterpunching opportunities. Opportunities not on the front end, but on the back end.
Not the most accurate uppercut you'll see.
Body shot.
Oh, that's good stuff. Firing right back with one of his own. Good work by Manny Pacquiao.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Off target with that hook.
Beat him to the punch.
Halfway through round 6. Oh, and he returns fire with a left hand. Pacquiao's showing us a real solid skill set here with his head movement. Teddy, how much of that is just natural athletic ability and instincts, and how much of that is being trained well?
Well, most of it's trained well. If I take a guy off the street, Joe, and he hasn't been taught anything, he's going to throw punches. But usually he's not going to have a good defense. That's something that has to be attained. That's something that has to be taught. This guy has been taught good defensive fundamentals.
Not able to land the uppercut. Working our way towards the bell. Last 10 seconds of the 6th.
Keep working the body.
Really fun-looking fight so far here. We've reached the halfway mark. Teddy, your impressions as to what we're going to see in the second half of this fight?
More of the same. I don't think these fighters know how to do anything, at least tonight. They came here with this mentality, and you know what? You can't really change gears at this point. You're going to see more of the same.
You need to capitalize on his mistakes. I want to see that counter hook. Make him pay for his mistakes.
All we need is water up there, and that's it.
Listen, I'm not going to stand here and watch you take those.
And we are back underway. Another round in a fight that's been very entertaining, but I wouldn't want to be a judge. This is one of those fights that could go either way.
Keep pushing.
There you go.
Oh, and he's got something for him himself, and it's a left hand. is not in good shape. And banging away he goes. Can he beat the count? I don't think so here, Teddy.
Now I know where they got that saying, falling like a sack of potatoes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
And somehow, some way, he's going to continue on here.
And if he's going to stay in this fight, now he's got to avoid this opponent like the Black Plague.
Blocks away that headshot at the halfway point of round 7. I am loving this round right now. I mean, this is a candidate for round of the year. Just great action.
Guard your head.
You're not moving enough. Move, muévate.
Oh, what a whiff by Boom Boom.
Move your head. Levante la cabeza. Do that again.
He missed with that headshot. And yet another big shot comes in. That was a big shot that floored him, and it's a big shot that may end him right here.
That looked like the great pitcher, Great Maddox. His sinker ball. Boy, it went down quick.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
The ref is stopping this fight. Boom Boom's unable to get up and continue on. I like the way he finished things tonight, Teddy. Manny Pacquiao's your winner by knockout in a fight that he controlled throughout.
Well, I'm glad you liked it, and just as importantly, or more importantly, his trainer, his manager, and his promoter like it, because that means that he's going to be easy to sell now to television.
For Teddy Atlas, I'm Joe Tessitore. Have yourself a great night.